Listen. Feel.
What?
I've seen much.
There it is. The moment when night gives up its dominion and day opens its eyes upon the world.
Did you see anything?
Seized?
The Char are at the doorstep of Or. They plan to sear our nation as they did Ascalon. Vizier Kilbron says he can defeat them, but we must prepare for the worst. As Desmina did so many years ago, we shall call upon Grinth for his aid. If Or dies, at least we will be with him.
Who dares summon me? A true priest? Is there such a thing in this fallen land? Destroy the corruption. Return the soul of the Keeper. Go.
One really cool detail I want to point out as we go towards the Risen Keeper here is if you watch him closely, you'll see he casts this spell that creates this green orb that floats up to the statue of Grenth. You can see it moving there now. Hits the statue and ignites it, and its finger lights up. Look at that cool little detail. Now, here, if you watch when the corrupted priest dies, the light goes out, and the cage opens up. Very easy to miss. One of the cool little details the devs put in there, most players will miss.
You seek the heart of Or, then you must go to the very beginning. The rock where the gods first set foot upon this world. There is an artesian well hidden in the mountains behind the temple of Melandru. There, you will find the place where Or began.
Thank you. We'll go there and cleanse this land of the dragon's corruption. Or we'll once again be free.
Let it be so. I will see you again, heroes. In every swing of your enemy's blade, I will be there.
Part 110. In many respects, we're here at the end of the road. Caraflower is about to enter the source of Or in pursuit of the artesian waters, at what is, in one term of classical thinking, the end of the personal story. More on that later. Let's quickly read our recap. Trahearne and I led a mission into Or's royal tombs in an attempt to cast the ritual that will cleanse the land of Zaitan's corruption. And we've seen a huge amount of the war to claim enough land to get in and do this. We got results, but the results didn't last. We realized we needed to cast the ritual in a different location known as the Source of Or, so we set out to find it. Within the Cathedral of Silence, we met with the Grenth's avatar, its 7th Reaper. And yeah, he specifically said in that cutscene, you guys noticed, that he's the 7th Reaper. It was too weakened to defend the temple from a powerful Risen, so we made an exchange. We defeated the Risen, and the Reaper gave us the information we were looking for. Apparently, there is an artesian well hidden beneath the mountain near Melandru's temple, the very spot where the gods first set foot on Tyria. There, we'll find the Source of Or. So, we got this information from one of the avatars of the gods, suggesting they're still out there in the mist somewhere, still able to know things. Things are still working on their behalf. It's just a question of, are they interested in Tyria at all? Perhaps Caraflower doesn't care too much about that, though. One thing she might find curious is that the avatar of Grenth was discriminating against Zaitan's minions. He was surprised that we had a living priestess to Grenth here, and he seemed to care and make a real distinction between humans that worshipped him and just undead ambling around, and I find that quite a curious thing about the gods too. But so with that knowledge gleaned from the cathedral and those adventures, I like to think that Caraflower's hit peak necromancy moment now. So here for the final quest in a way. I've changed our build to a lot of fun stuff, skills that will be really useful as we go forwards. We're no longer just minion-mancy spamming, which, you know, as strong as it is. And I kind of want to show you guys, check out this back piece here. So this is the Shadow of Grenth backpack. It's a very rare backpack skin that it is nonetheless available in Core Guild Wars 2. You do not need expansions to get this. It comes from one of the holidays, Winter's Day, and we're in the new year now. So yeah, I wanted to show you that very cool necromancy piece. I've actually put a hood on her as well, because without the hood, her hair kind of dangles down and it all goes together. So there's that. And I figured as well, we've had a Priory Explorer mini for ages. Well, how about we get an Orion Wraith mini? Check it out here for the end of the game. Also a very rare mini and a difficult thing to find, but I think pretty goddamn suited for Cauliflower. And yeah, we're at the back of the temple now. I actually just helped to defeat the priest to Melanju that had been taken. You notice that all the plants and things grew here. And we're going to swim through the water into the secret passage below Penitent Path. And we're going to follow in and see what we've got. So I will note that we can obviously enter the story, or you can walk down there and fight these monsters. If you go down, there are several things to kill, and I think there's even a chest at the end, so there is a little bit of a reason to go down there, but it's going to be a little bit scary for us, so we'll stay here. I say that with freaking Lich form equipped. I like the idea of us becoming a Lich now that we've been inspired, having just met one of the 7 Reapers. But alright, here we go. The Source of Ore. We're going to meet with Chahern, and this is it, guys.
Soldiers of the Pact, you are not merely our best hope. You are our only hope. Your duty is to defend this entrance against the servants of the dragon, Zaitan. The torch of renewal is in your hands. Together, we'll ignite a fire to burn away the corruption and set Ore free.
Oh, baby. So, who have we got here? Well, if we go speak to Chahern straight away.
What's on your mind?
He says, are you ready, Commander? Take a moment to speak with the troops, if you like. Then we'll head in. All right, well, give me a moment to speak with my friends, then we'll go in. So, here, in this final instance, what we have is a collection of important characters to Cauliflower's story. So there's a ton of NPCs here. There is a ludicrous matrix of different options that the devs have designed and implemented for this mission. The very few players, I think, truly respect how amazing it is. So there's loads of different dialogue we'll get, kind of specific in many respects to Cauliflower's adventure. So let's see who we got. Well, here's Galena, Edge Crusher. She says, me and Snarl. So yeah, is Snarl around as well? Wait, where is he? I can't see him. Snarl must be somewhere. Oh, he's all the way over there, right, standing next to Chahern. Me and Snarl are glad to be on the battlefield with you one last time. Indeed, without you and Snarl, we couldn't have taken out the mouth of Zaitan, so we met quite recently. I was just doing my duty. Anyway, someone's got to keep old Snarl in line. You do that, Galena. Good luck in battle. So we've got her. Who else we got? We got Baron. Oh no, we're speaking to Galena here, and Pharaoh, I'm assuming, is around also. Not quite sure where he is. Right. Oh, there you go. He's over there. Slam, Duncan Duggar. This is the core of the cogswheel, eh? Are you ready for this, Baron? I can never understand what these guys are saying. It won't be like studying those searing cauldrons. Fizz and Whirl, I'm ready. When this is done, I want to do harmonics tests on this cave. He's so ready. Well, I'll make sure you get the chance, my friend. Just make sure to live that long. He even thinks that this cave's fairly magical then. Here we got Fatokchak with the Skrit. Even has a little look in here. Hey, dude. He says, Skrit, fight. Caves are no problem. You stay near us. We'll protect you, Cauliflower. Look, he knows how to say my name. Oh, I'll keep that in mind for Tukchak. Do. Skrit, very glad to be here with you. For Tukchak, remember village. Fight hard now. Look, so that pays off. I'm grateful for your friendship here at the end. And we will be relying on their combat skills in this mission. It's a beautiful thing we see here. And there's a couple of other Skrit who've come along. I appreciate you guys as well, even though you're named and we don't actually necessarily get to speak directly to you. Here we got Dern of the Order of Whispers, a little bit shady, don't know him too well. He says, I've verified the coordinates and our agents have scouted the perimeter. We're ready. The Order of Whispers have been invaluable, Dern. Thank you for trusting in the Pact. I trusted you, Commander, and I trusted Chahern. The rest just sort of evolved. Alright, times change, my friend. Look at this times change. How old are you, Dern? I'm still suspicious about your origins. Here we got Saya. Has had so little to do in the story. You notice she's still in full gear as well. Won't even really show us her face here. Silent swimming and dark blades. I am unused to such a large gathering. You are sure we need them all? Look at this. The Largos are unused to large gatherings. It's interesting to think if they become playable one day to see what a city of Largos would be like. You sure we need all these people? Yes. Twice you've given me aid, we say. Once with Apatia, then at Abaddon's temple. I'm in your debt. See, so the game is referring very explicitly to the choices we made, and it knows that we didn't just hang out with her once, but twice. I'm in your debt. You offer debt, I will take it. By the Concordat, we will be twinned until our balance is made even once more. All right, okay, cool. May your steps be relentless, sire. It's brilliant to see her here, because she was kind of a bit of a lone wolf for a long time. Who else is on the left? We got Loranthe. The dark day is here at last, and we must pace ourselves on the line. Never fear, my friend. This is the only chance we'll need. We'll see it through. It's been an honor to serve with you, Commander. And you, War Master. Here we get Mira. So Mira is amazing to me. Now, I've shown you guys. She's got like the whole progression of when we first meet her on Claw Island. She gets her face burned and messed up by Blightgas. Later, we can actually find her, if you're of certain races anyway, in our home instance. Remember, you see her damaged and laying in one of the beds. Well, here at the end of the game, she does reappear for the big fight in the last instance. So she says, when they attacked Claw Island, I wanted to be anywhere but on the line. Now, I can't imagine doing anything else. It's good to see some of the survivors of Claw Island joining us for this final battle. When I heard about the push into Ra, I knew I had to be here. You're short on reinforcements, but we're here for you. I'm glad to see you again, Mira. Good luck. So we get to see her. I wish we got to know her a little bit more because she feels like such an important NPC being at the end. All the NPCs you see here, to me, are like the big characters of the story in a lot of ways. Here we got Snarl standing right by Traherne, front and center. What a face. You helped me with Galena, made my life better. I owe you, and I'll pay you one back on the battlefield. We beat back the mouth, and we'll beat back whatever awaits us here, Snarl. I'll scout the way, and Galena will hold the line. You can trust us, Commander. I know I can, Snarl. He won't actually scout ahead. He's going to be used for defense in a second, we'll see. So we had Dern. Well, here's Win It. Oh, I miss the Priory's high, cold walls. These libraries seem like a paradise in my memory. So I wonder if she's standing at the front because Caraflower chose Priory, right? And so, yes, hey, are you ready for this, Win It? You can still turn back. I miss the Priory's high walls for what it's worth, too. She says, no. If I left you, Siren's spirit would never forgive me. I'll fight, Commander, and we'll win. Poor Siren. Imagine if she made it here, right? Oh. Thank you, Win It, and thanks for the gut punch reminding me of Siren. I don't want to think about her right now. We got very important stuff to focus on. I'm just going to get emotional. That's like a real weakness of me here. We meet again, Commander. Best of luck in there. We'll be all right behind you. So Zree's here. Thanks, Zree. We've been through a lot ever since our first mission as the Pact. We have. I can't say I've enjoyed it, but I'm glad to have been a part. I love how she just kind of pops up for a very brief moment in one of the stories and then disappears recently. And now here she is at the end. First, the source of ore, then the dragon itself. There's a real sense of finality you'll notice in the dialogue here. A lot of you will be scratching your heads and thinking, well, hold on, you know, we've got a whole dragon fight to do, we've got the gates of Ara to push to, and all this kind of stuff. And you're right to wonder and feel that way. It's because this is really the conclusion of the personal story where they're trying to pay as much respect to our personal decisions as possible here. Again, more on that subject later. Here's Afut, the last of the big three. The battle ahead will be difficult, Commander. Are you prepared? By the way, have you noticed how Afut is an Asura, which is the least likely you'd think to be associated with a Vigil, and she's like the big Vigil representative in the end. And Win It, a Norn, that you wouldn't really think of with a Priory, is the big Priory representative. I guess Dern with the humans and the Order of Whispers kind of makes sense and is pretty typical. But these two are quite cool twists on the idea. The battle ahead will be difficult. Are you ready? I am, but I'm placing a lot of trust in you and your troops, War Master Afut. Don't worry, the Vigil was made for this sort of thing. I look forward to fighting beside you one more time. Who else we got? We got Crusader Fanon. Long-time character here. The Pale Reavers are holding down the fort, Commander. Karis and I are here to represent them on this mission. You're a strong ally, Fanon. I'm glad to have you here. I'll be here with you until the end, Commander. Until the end. Then some. Oh, I like that sense of beyond the end. Fair fortune, Fanon. So, then we get Gore. I mean, you can't have this final meeting without Gore. Gore's been so instrumental. Well, Commander, this is it. I've got my vacuum magic polarizer. Traherne's got his baffling tree blade, and we've all got you. Ready? Yes, of course, because Calibog's going to be pretty instrumental in this, we've seen. Yes, without you, we couldn't have located the mouth of Zaitan. Likewise, Commander, I'm glad to have been of assistance. Without Gore, we actually know, all right, Caraflower may not know this, but Gore, you know, architected a ton of stuff, really, and pioneered a huge amount of research into even this whole idea of dragons consuming magic. Without such information, who knows where we'd be. Anyway, good luck. Here's Pharaoh. The resonance here is incredible. Look, they're both interested in the cave. This isn't just the source of Or's water. It's the source of harmonical vicissitude too. I'm not entirely sure what you just said, but I trust the skills you showed us with those cauldrons. That means a lot, Duggar. I mean, Commander. Yeah, okay, good luck. And lastly, we get a generic Vigil Crusader here. So yeah, really incredible crowd and quite the celebration, honestly, of all the decisions and choices we made. The idea of it is actually quite small, to be honest. You know, they've got a collection of NPCs together in a narrow corridor, and there's not going to be any really massive, epic, broad battles and things going on here. So I think even this instance here, in a way, you can kind of feel the crunch was pressure that was on the devs. But still, I think they paid things off very nicely. All right, there you go. That's everybody, and we're going to use them to defend us as we press on. Traherne? We've never been more ready. Let's go.
This is it, Commander. The source of ore, the font of its magic. The water from which this land draws life. Our scouts reported an immense artesian well at the center of this cavern. The waters run beneath the city of Arar, and from there to every corner of the nation.
Oh.
If we can purify this heart well, then the magic will spread as the water flows, carrying our cleansing ritual throughout Ore.
Is there enough life left in Ore to power the ritual?
The heartbeat of the land is weak and thready, but I can hear it. When we reach the source, only then will we know. Stand ready, packed soldiers, and stand together. Lead the way, Commander.
So they're all going to defend us. So basically, what's going to happen is Zaitan hates the idea of us being in this cave, and he's going to eternally send creatures to try and kill us. And our friends are going to defend us and hopefully not get them killed. We got the Fatokchak and the script fighting. Everyone that we love is here defending us, affording us to run on deeper in. Trahan says, stay focused, Commander. This place is dangerous. Be ready for anything. I'm ready, Trahan. Let's do this. Who do you think they're fighting for more, me or Trahan right now? I'm going to just say it's both, right? All right, Trahan, don't you get distracted. We got to get along in here. So yeah, he talks a little bit about the idea of the lifeblood of Ore once again, this artesian well, the idea of the life force being something quite natural to us as Necros, right? Because we play with it a lot. But, you know, they're interesting concepts, definitely. So let's get on in and start breaking our way through these risen royal guards. Huh.
Guards, destroy this trespass.
Whoa, so from deep inside, we hear an Eye of Zaitan is here. Every single time we found an eye, it's been big trouble, all right? And so there is an eye inside there. Not just a regular eye, it's called the Sovereign Eye of Zaitan. And yeah, why are there so many royal guards here? Once again, we get these enchanted weapons and things, which one of the Asura we met swears blind and not actually to do with Zaitan, but clearly defending it again. That they're just enchanted and maybe Zaitan's somehow using them as sentries. When they described as being similar to golems in some capacity. But yeah, so the build we have here today, guys, is Spite, Soul Reaping, and Blood. So in general, we do very good in Shroud. You'll notice I'm applying Vulnerability as I attack in it. And the idea is we're just going to try and sustain in there as much as possible. Because it's a defensive thing and an offensive thing. And we have a very challenging boss fight coming up. A really fun one too. So more royal guards here that we got to cleave our way through in these eerie purple magical rooms, forgotten deep below, you know, regular Ore. It's really weird to think that above us is a cave that the Pact were sending supplies through for however long, you know, not even on the front lines necessary. And Zaitan was just squatting below us, hoping, and well, not Zaitan himself, but waiting. So what is this? The Artesian Waters, and guarding the way forwards are 4 knights, first of all, which the game has, like, I think, been trying to telegraph they're, like, the strongest creatures. And they're champions.
I see you are indeed competent. Guards, let them pass. We wish to meet them up.
It seems we're being invited in. Be on your guard. This will not be a friendly visit.
And the game makes us think that we're going to have to fight them. They go red. Now, if I had ran in there, they would have attacked us with the force of a lot of damage. And you can instantly die against them, believe it or not. It's a thing that can happen. So, generally, I think the idea is you're meant to fight for a second and get freaked the hell out because you're like, oh my god, I have to kill 4 champions at once? Never, in a million years, has the story ever gone anywhere near asking us to fight 4 champions at once, all right? You know, the dungeons and stuff are different because that's 5-man content. So, you know, this is just like some crazy challenge. And then just as your heart stops, the voice from inside emanates out, the door opens, and they just step aside. So this is just such an eerie, weird moment. The Risen have never been anything but mindless, vicious monsters. And suddenly, they have the intellectual capacity to stand and let Trahan and I walk past. As dangerous as they are, I like the idea that we threaten them. And indeed, the dialogue there suggested as such.
Still so far away. Are you that afraid? Come closer. We wish to see more clearly.
We wish to see you. Zaitan sees through these eyes. Look at this huge, gorgeous chamber. Were the gods really here once? First?
Defilers, poisoners, we see. We know your foul intent. These waters must remain as they are, and you must die.
Okay, so here we go. It's the boss fight. We've got an eye. There is nowhere we can hide against this eye. We have to get in, and we have to fight him in the pool. Look at this. It's incredible. So Trahearne will help. This thing hits very hard and has a lot of different mechanics. So let's see what we got. First of all, I'm going to put a flesh worm up here that I can teleport to at any point. He's just gone invulnerable here. As he beams Trahearne, at least he's targeting him. His beam attack will inflict heavy vulnerability and really hurt. Every now and then he'll go invulnerable and teleport off to a side, as you can see here. When he does so, he's going to summon clones, these lesser eyes, and attack you with ridiculous barrages of magical energy. As you notice there, I just took thousands of damage from getting hit by a single one of these, and I got knocked back. So this is a bullet hell phase. We have to get back to the eye now, avoiding his hits. It's pretty terrifying, right? So you can try and dodge through them, like so, right? And any mechanic in the game will work to get around these, except blind, because, you know, he's a legendary creature with a break bar. So if you can block with Aegis, you can get away from them. If you can reflect in any way, you can prevent them in that way. As a Necro, we're kind of limited, but we do have the corrosive poison cloud, right? Which stops projectiles inside it. So what we're going to do to get through this phase is cast the cloud in the middle. It's right here. And now you'll notice that the projectiles can't hit me. We're going to burst him as much as we can while the cloud's up. And then we're going to force him to teleport away, like so. Now, if we mess it up, we can always TP back with our worm, right? Whew, so we managed to do that. And let me just tell you, you can go down there. It's really dangerous if you get caught wrong, because you can just get CC'd in a row. I actually don't have a stun break on my build right now, so it's pretty goddamn scary. Let's Lich form. Summon Madness. Tether him with our Grim Spectre.
Mortal, fragile, flesh and hard and firm. You are infinitely breakable.
Oh, I love that line. Flesh and bark and fur. That's like, you know, the makeup of all the playable races. Imagine we're doing this with 5 players, right? And he's scaled up to be a stronger boss co-op. And he says that, you know, it applies to all of us. He's speaking not just to us, but the pact in general. Oh, okay, so now he has a different phase where he just, like, splashes obscene damage out. You see this here? I think he's going to do it again. We're going to get away. I don't know. He's back. Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, that one wasn't bullet hell. Let's push in. And we got to try and get a little bit more damage on him.
But you have lost someone to Zaitan. Someone named Siren. She is waiting for you now. Beneath the dragon's wings.
Oh, you bastard! He uses Siren against us! What did I just say? Oh my god, he could see into our soul. He knows what we fear. Can you? I love that idea of just waiting under the dragon's wings. Is so cinematic to me. Here, he just did a big shockwave again, and we tanked it in Life Force. If we hadn't tanked that in Life Force, I genuinely think we might have got really hurt there. Maybe even gone down. So, right, let's try and do this again. We actually managed to break combat, which is brilliant. Get the poison cloud up, run into him, and force him to teleport off. Good. Blink back over. He's getting low. So this is like the biggest, baddest eye.
All the death around you. All those who have gone before you. Come to Zaitan and find everything you have lost. You can be with them again.
Look at this psychological warfare. So as we hit him harder, he's now getting protection and might and doing more damage. Good old Trahearne is actually tanking so many hits here. I love this psychological warfare, though, in this sense that he can make us think it's good to be risen.
What's happening to me? Your heart. Why does it bleed so brightly?
But alas, he is no match for the Sylvari, I guess, here. And what is this? The revelation as to what the eyes were this whole time.
My own hand, my own form. My mind is no longer controlled by the dragon's curse. Praise the gods, I am free.
They are actually the kings and queens of Or. Now, we've seen the princes, right? We haven't seen any princesses. But the eyes aren't just any regular old minion, aren't created from any regular old soul or spirit. They are the descendants of King Doric that lingered here in Or, the royal line. And the last king of Or, well, that was this guy, King Razor. I wonder what Traherne says at this point.
Remain strong.
He says remain strong. He immediately runs over. So here the Sylvari meeting with the ancient human soul here. Never got sent to the mists. Was forced to linger here. Let's see what he says. Ever since the cataclysm and corrupted by an elder dragon. Razor?
Thank you, brave heroes. Whatever wind guided you to this place, I bless that gale. My name is Riza, and I was the last king of Or. When the dragon rose, it plundered the royal tomb at Azave Kabar, and used the bodies of my family to create its most heinous servitors, the Eyes of Zaitan.
The other eyes? Those were the kings and queens of Or?
Yes, we were chained to the dragon, corrupted into monsters that bore Zaitan's vision and carried out its will. One by one, you have freed us. I, the most powerful of all, was placed here to guard the source of Or's magic. Yet you have found a way. I am deeply grateful. For this service, I grant you an ancient honor. You shall carry the title Champion of Or from this day forward. Remember us as we once were.
Thank you, King Riza. I am honored, and I will remember you and your people.
Now, begin your final task. Cleanse this land. Restore what has been stolen. Confront Zaitan's power, and give Or a new beginning.
As you say, King Riza, it's time to wash away the corruption that dishonors this land. Rest in peace. We won't fail you.
So there you have it. The vision that the Pale Tree gave us was of Azabe Kabar, where we fought an eye. And that's what's happened in the end. We fought an eye to reveal the king, but here instead.
Here at the end, I'm glad that it's just you and me. We will cleanse Or together, as we were meant to do.
Oh, something's happening.
The line's broken. We're being overwhelmed. Fall back!
To me!
No. So the lines have broken, and it's our job to defend Traherne. We must get the ritual through.
Form up and protect Marshal Traherne.
The song here is beautiful. It is, of course, Fear Not This Night, the song sang by the Pale Tree to her children. But, of course, it's not just the Sylvari here. All our allies there come rushing in to form a perimeter. And it's now our job to hold out, defend Traherne during the ritual of purification.
Everyone, come!
Now, you'll notice that eerie cinematic silence. It has nothing to do with effects volumes.
Everyone, come!
Look, we got Lorantha here, we got Baron Pharaoh, everybody in a ring, and Traherne!
You're a frightened child.
It's the sun! Look at this, like statues. Is that a statue? No, look, the trees are growing and roots are coming in. As the poison leaves the land. Look, this is the same kind of animation as before, except way bigger now. I kind of wish the sequence defending him was longer.
It's done. I can feel the waters beginning to radiate, with the energy of Khaled Bulb flowing everywhere the water touches.
Traherne, are you well? You look like you can barely stand.
The ritual has taken a great deal out of me, but I will live.
Let's make sure of that. Medic! We need a medic over here!
No need. Our work here is done, though the fight is far from over. We must regroup at Fort Trinity, and then we will have the opportunity to plan your next step forward.
I look forward to it. And Marshal, congratulations on the successful conclusion of your wild hunt.
It has been a part of me since I took my first steps. But now my wild hunt is complete. It's time I redefine myself. A rare and unique challenge. But I have the pact to keep me busy. Thank you for all you've done.
It's so nice that we say, hey, congratulations on the completion of your wild hunt. Oh, man. So there you have it. The defense of Traherne. Like I said, I wish that little bit was slightly longer. What a final instance. Just a bit of trivia about Razor there as well, by the way. That's a Persian name. Apparently it means like contentment or satisfaction, which is a beautiful name to use, knowing that this was going to be the end of the story in a way. So as well, you'll notice that Razor gave us that title, Champion of Ore. Now, you might actually think that that's like a title as a game mechanic and we can now rep it. That's not actually true. You don't unlock it as a title. I wonder, though, if the devs were going with that they were going to have, you know, people who beat the personal story got a title out of it. Though all of that said, I do love the idea that being a champion of ore is a thing that means something to Orians. And if we ever had like a Guild Wars 3 or just another game under this intellectual property, it could be ore back in the day and you're playing as the champion of ore, except, you know, a past champion of ore, a hero of note for some other reason, and you get to see maybe the origins of that as a title that would be passed down over the years, and that would infuse extra meaning to the finale of Guild Wars 2 here. So awesome. So hey Traherne, what's up, man? He says the corruption is gone from this chamber. It will take time to spread throughout ore, assuming we can destroy the dragon. So yeah, let's just marvel at this. It actually has begun to be purified very quickly as well, actually. The waters we're standing in look different. Plants have started to grow, at least around here. And this is a big chamber, but ore is a vast continent. And hey, who knows how long it will take in full.
I'm pleased you're here.
And he's also pointing out, look, there's still a dragon around, so... you know, it will only go so far. Your wild hunt's over, though, Traherne. Congratulations. Thank you. I never thought this could be done. The day will live in the dream forever. A joyous day indeed. I'll see you at Fort Trinity. Keith was skeptical that his was even possible. So, that day with the dragon will come soon, Traherne. Very soon. So, once again, we get to speak to everyone. Ferry says, it's true. This place is the wells and walls of ore. I can't wait to set up shop. Someone should set up a shop here. How cool is that as an idea? We should come back in a few years and find like that there's a shop here. Zam Blam Dinker, Chugga Chug 2. Hell of a fight that was. Whatever you just said, I'll second it. Loranthus says, may the memory of this day live forever within the Pale Tree. Your bravery, Commander, was inspiring. Thank you, Loranthir. Professor Gore says, it's over. I can't wait to get home and write a thesis on this entire situation. I'll name it The Algorithms of Ore. Let me read that, man. You do that. Mira, you happy? It's over. It's finally over. Ore is free. Now, all that's left, ... is the dragon itself. Yes, but don't worry, Mira. I already have a plan to handle that. Do we?
My quest consumes me.
Here we have a Feynman. Well done, Commander. I never thought I'd live to see the day. Isn't it amazing? I'm proud. I mean, this is a huge blow to Zaitan, really. We get the Vigil Crusader for Tokchak here.
Me.
We win! We win! Take that, dragon! We win indeed.
Keep your voice down.
Here we get Snarl Backdraft. The battle here may be over, but the war isn't. As any good Ash scout will tell you, Zaitan's still out there, and he's not going to stop. Wait, hold on though, Snarl. It doesn't take a scout to know that there's a dragon around. Though he has been particularly elusive in a lot of senses, right? We've heard him roar and stuff, but we haven't seen him yet. It's so ominous, shrouded in the magics of the holy city that we've barely snatched glimpses of. Then I have to stop the dragon before he can strike back, you'll see. I like the idea that you did scout forward earlier, Snarl, by the way. Thanks for warning me about the eye. Don't worry, Commander. There'll be other battles, other victories. Maybe I'll name my first cub after you. Whoa! I'd be honored, Galina. Thank you. So we get some square. Zort, how's it going? Can it be true? Will this truly save ore from the dragon's corruption? Traherne says that it will spread throughout ore. May the land replenish itself at last. Hopefully Traherne's right about that. Sire, in the name of the Concordat of the Tetios houses, I salute you, my companion. This is kind of cheesy here, but I quite like it. Well fought and well won, sire. Dern, I can barely believe it, Commander. Your name will go down in history for this. Together, Dern, we did it together.
Research is only as useful as its practical application.
Praise the spirits of the wild. The world will resound with the tale of this victory. There should be more Norn here to spread this tale, honestly.
Excelsior.
And Efut, another battle, another fight. But this time, the victory means more than it ever has. It's the birth of a new age, Efut. What, of resistance against dragon corruption, it seems? Is that really a new age? Well, maybe the ancient races have got something to say about that. So there you go, the source of ore. Now, the story step isn't technically complete. What we're going to do is leave the Artesian waters, this godly chamber where once upon a time these beings, like, teleported in. So wait, before the gods came here, do you think all these structures were here? Probably not, right? I wonder what it just looked like when the Elder Dragons had gone to sleep and the ancient races had been in this area, but not the gods yet. Was it just like a field or something? It's weird to think what this chamber was like throughout the ages, but knowing the gods were exactly here, it's kind of cool. Anyway, so let's go back to Fort Trinity, which is where the story is now instructing us to go. And I'm going to be blunt with you guys about the way that the game was originally structured now. I didn't want to tell this story too early because I didn't want to spoil the fact that really, at the end of the personal story, you kind of don't beat the Elder Dragon. So here's how Guild Wars 2 marketed itself and really wanted to think about PvE, okay? It really basically had this sense of there being 3 pillars to its PvE experience. There was one pillar, the dynamic events, and that was the story of the world. So meta events that you could do anywhere, that was the actual state of Tyrion, the stories that were going on Tyrion. Then there was the personal story, which was the story of you and the choices you make mattering. And lastly, there was the story of Destiny's Edge, and that was told through the dungeons. What they tried to do at the end of the story here is to dovetail all 3, dovetail's probably the right word, ribbon all 3 of them together. What they had was the personal story ends here, where all of your personal choices kind of pay off in the NPCs represented. And the personal story leads you to doing a dungeon that only unlocks at the end of a meta event. So the 3 pillars of Guild Wars 2's PvE come together at this big final moment. And what that meant was technically this is the end of the personal story and a lot of our specific decisions. And the final fight and the battle with the Elder Dragon comes next. So you get kind of a weird double finale type situation. But there you have it. Nowadays, the devs have actually broken that interaction, and it's not actually a decision I particularly enjoy. But now, instead of it being the story leads to a meta, leads to a dungeon, the dungeon access has nothing to do with metas anymore, so you can always go into it. And it no longer is a dungeon, it's all just the personal story, right? So nowadays, the story kind of continues. We're still looking at following green starbursts. The source of all will go on, and then it will lead to another green starburst called Victory or Death, which is the end of the game, okay? But so there you go. We've done a finale of sorts. Now let's do the finale for real. Caraflower, you good for this? Let's enter Fort Trinity for our final preparations against an Elder Dragon. And on that front, there's still a lot to talk about. Let's remind ourselves in the story journal that the pale tree, when we asked about the dream, said only 2 Sylvari have ever dreamed of facing the dragon head-on. Me and Kaith. I wonder what that means. The feeling on deck wasn't one of celebration or even tense battle readiness. Silently, the Havoc sailed between the high cliffs that once stood guard over the city's harbour. They were half as tall now, mere circles of stone peering over the high line of the sea. Around them, the remains of waterlogged masts jutted up through the waves. Kabaya peered over the side of the Havoc, staring down into the water. Silt and earth swirled around the wreckage of houses, shipyards, and even cobblestone roads. There was nothing left of the white towers that had ringed the central keep, or of the lion statue that stood guard over the city walls. There was nothing left of the home he'd known, the city where he'd been raised. Everything was drowned, buried in the massive surge of water. No one had survived. So many dead. And why? Where had the wave come from? What magic had overturned the sea? Had the nature goddess Melandru struck out in wrath, or had some darker force cast a horrible spell? Stories claimed that the kingdom of Or had been destroyed by such a spell, cast by an ancient vizier. Kabaya remembered the land he'd seen beyond the great wave, among those strange mountains, and in the wide, black plain he'd seen buildings. Tall ones, with spires like Malkor's fingers, but far more elaborate and delicate than those jutting stones. Could it have been Or itself, risen from below the ocean's depths? The fabled city of Ara? Was such a thing even possible?